The most important topic what we have in the present day scenario is the women's movements. As earlier in the society where the women's role was completely restricted to their household, where they were busy in doing all the household activities and like fetching water, cleaning up the utensils, cooking, preparing the children and family business, all these things were part and parcel of the regular pattern of time. As the industrialization came and the people started to realize and think of the various new opportunities for them, especially women are getting employed in the industries, and women started to move out of their houses and started to realize that they were able to earn and do work equally with men. Then the new role of women started to enlighten, and women started to realize that they should be given equal respect with the men and they should be paid equal wages with the men, because they were able to do the equal work what a man does in the field of factories. So this brought the new change in the outlook of the women, and new role has been enhanced for the women's thing. And not only this, during the French Revolution, when the bill were drafted for men in 1791, the women started to have an anti-protest against that. Why were women not given equal rights vis-a-vis men? Because they started a movement and they passed a law that stating that women are also born free and they were not slaves to anybody. They have to be accessible to all dignitaries of places freely without any restriction. They prepared their own draft. Ever since it has not been passed by the French Parliament. So, but they got the ideology that they were equal to men. They need that equality feeling when compared to men. These all new changes brought them outside, and they started to ask for equal status with men, especially in regards to voting. And then we have women voting rights, where women started to agitate for the women voting rights continuously from the French Revolution, asking, fighting, making many more things, discussions, and all these things, agitation, forming clubs, discussing in the clubs, doing the agitations, requesting, doing the movements for special grants of women. And the Russian Revolution, where in 1917 women also participated actively in the Russian Revolution in dethroning the existing provincial government, and Lenin has taken up the initiative to give equal respect for all of them. Then the England recognized them in 1918, has given for some privileged classes of women the voting rights, but very soon in 1928 it was given for all the voting rights. As the time passed on, when we discuss thoroughly and clearly, we come to an ideology that the first wave of feminism was clearly asking for the equality of right to vote, but the second wave of feminism, which came later on of the 1930s and 1940s, started to stress more on the equality feeling, where there is no equality at all in reality. They started to ask for the real terms of equality. And then if we discuss about the influence of this in the Indian context, we have the sati system, where the wives are burnt alive with the dead bodies of the husbands. This is really a miserable condition. Then we have the killing of the girl child, female infanticide, which is a horrible condition which was still in practice, which has to be stopped. And then we have the lifelong widowhood, where the women are not respected at all if they lose their husbands, and they were considered as they are eliminated from the society. So these all are growing on in the later part of 19th century, and even the Indians started to stop, Indian women started to raise questions on this kind of practices which are completely superstitious and blind beliefs. And later we have Mahatma Gandhi ji stressing more for the women equality and asking them to participate in the Indian freedom struggle, because of what India could achieve her freedom struggle very soon with the massive cooperation of the men and women together. And we have many famous leaders coming forward, Sarojini Naidu, then we have the other leaders coming forward and discussing and making the agitation further and influencing to all the women. And looking at the words and hearing to the words of Gandhiji, many of the women simultaneously came out of their houses and gave their extensive support in fighting for the struggle of Indian independence. So these all brought very crucial effect on the British Empire during that period, and Gandhiji realized that we should give equal freedom to all of them. So as soon as India framed her constitution, India declared equal status for men as vis-a-vis women, and there has been equal voting rights to men and women. So this has brought the end up of inequality in the Indian context. But if you look at the actual reality, though it is mentioned constitutionally in all the aspects, but in reality we have certain problems because there are still people who don't consider women equal to men, and there is a kind of discrimination clearly evident in all fields. Let us take it in the educational sector, let us take in the working atmosphere sector, or in any other fields where they were not given any such kind of equal status at all, and this discrimination continues further and further. Now many of the women organizations are trying to fight for asking the real feeling of equality in all the aspects, and the true feeling of equality has to be done not only in the constitutional books or in the constitutional provisions, but also in the mindsets of the people truly and genuinely. So this has been the major issue of momentum in the later part of the 21st century, where now all the women are coming out and working equally with men, but still they face the discrimination in the workplace or in the home atmosphere or at the various places, even in the public places where there is no equality at all. So let us hope very soon human beings, we all are human beings, and the men dominated society would soon accept the women as their equal partners and enjoy the equal status for men and women in this world.